When you say, meeting a major tenant, for example, I think your focus is office and retail, and correct me if I'm wrong. So in your world, what would a major tenant look like?
Yeah, so we own a lot of different property types. As our goal is to be as diversified as we can under the umbrella of real estate, so that when things get bad, no one sector can completely take you down. So we own some neighborhood strip centers. We own more creative office buildings. We own some warehouse, more industrial complexes. We own Dollar General stores. So we try to really spread that risk out as much as we can. We used to own a lot of multifamily, which we've sold the majority of that. But another thing that I learned on the investment side is that it makes a lot more sense to keep the money in the deal. We see a lot of investors who rely on the properties for their paychecks. And what I've always tried to do is, treat each building and the portfolio as I call it a glorified 401k. So set it aside, manage it well, and pay down the debt as fast as you can, rather than leverage it up and rely on the buildings for the paychecks. And I rely on my management fees and brokerage commissions as my quote paycheck, and really treat the properties right, so that when we have our next recession, you're in a favorable position with the bank, and every day the bank owns less and less, and you own more and more.
That's a good way to go about it. When you say, having the property act as a glorified 401k, would that mean excess cash is being kept in a reserve account? That way you can take care of CapEx as it's needed, maybe improvements if you want to sell, and then additional cash is just kind of sitting there for a rainy day? Is that more or less the way you're thinking about it?
Yes and no. So you definitely have to have a reserve account for a rainy day, whether it's roof repairs, HVAC repairs, those big CapEx items. But all of the money over and above what we think our CapEx reserve should be, we pay down debt with it. And we pay down debt whether the interest rate is 3% or 10%. Hopefully don't get quite to 10% anytime soon, Raj. But it's the principle of treating it like an investment and consistently taking the excess, if you're fortunate enough to have excess, and plowing down the debt.
Wow, I don't think I've ever heard of anyone employing that strategy. I'm sure people do, but I've just never personally heard that before. So when you're getting new debt on a new acquisition, are you specifically mentioning to or working with lenders that will allow you to pay down debt as you see fit, over and above what they're expecting?
Yeah, so most of our debt is with local banks, usually bigger local banks. But the community bank relationship, typically they don't have any prepayment penalties. So we typically don't have any, big HUD loans that you see a lot of in the multifamily world, no CMBS loans that, have those defeasance and prepayment penalty provisions in it. So we make sure that we have the flexibility to be able to do that.